Alrighty, so this is going to be episode 2 of my beginner's guide to capitalism in Tropico 6. In this episode, I'm going to try and quickly make it through the World War era and the Cold War era. And then in episode 3, maybe episode 4 as well, we'll do the late game modern era. Yeah, and so for this episode, we're going to try and cover the mid game, a lot of the beginner tips, as many beginner tips as I can cover really. Alrighty, so let's get into it. Coming into the World War era, 1903, not bad. I'm gonna go into other things that'll be pretty cool. Like this could be used for like a dystopia. You can make everyone poor, and then like just a couple people rich that have like a really high standing because they live near you and you're influencing just them. That'd be pretty cool for like a dystopia. This one's more like a military dictatorship. I don't think I've ever done this one or really seen like a good reason for, just because anyone with an approval below 45 has an increased chance to become rebel. That's like really bad unless you got a strong military. I'm gonna go all citizens vote. We're also going to choose the pacifist state. We're not going, well, I'll get into more things here in a second. As things come up, I should talk about them. So now as we can see, we have this new set of factions here. Capitalist versus the communist, religious versus the militarist. As you can see, our capitalist faction here is getting +10 from no free lunch. Our communist -5 from no free lunch. So you're going to want to stack a lot of the edicts in a way that influences the factions that you want your island to be. And so something important to know is that later on I see a lot of people struggle with the ultimatums. If you push every single person away from certain factions into like your other faction, like if we had 1,000 people and there was like 900 capitalists, like 950, then that would mean that once the ultimatum happens, you can just ignore it because there's only like 50 communists that are going to actually do something. And so that's pretty important. You don't want to tick them off too early because once you really start like pushing for capitalists, it'll like start to really annoy the communists. The reason you don't want to do that too early is like it's going to be pretty balanced out like it is now. But we made it to this next era. We have 1,000 research points from our knowledge from our early library, which over the course of its lifetime has given us 300. We're going to use these points to unlock a newspaper. Like I was saying, that's pretty important to have. We're going to go ahead. Our next big thing we can focus on is the right to bear arms, because if we look at our overlays and we go to the liberty, it's like alright, you know, like 60. Once things get below 50 though, that's whenever people start turning rebel. An easy way to give the entire island like a big buff is to just let everyone have guns and the entire island will turn green. On top of that, the right to bear arms will increase our militarist, kind of whatever, industrialist, kind of whatever, but the capitalist standing by another 10%. That's pretty good for us. And increases liberty, by 15. That's really huge. So specifically what I wanted to get into is to keep everything on this left hand side. So I'm going to support the capitalist, religious, then here's going to be the environmentalist, and then the intellectual faction. So I'm going to go all the way down this left side here, and I'm going to just support all these people. No free lunch is actually taken off the religious population. Thinking about it, it would be good to get something that makes the religious people happy, but there's nothing I can think of. The good old days, but that decreases intellectual standing by 15, which is not in line with my goals. I kind of want to just push it over into the next era as quickly as possible. Get out of this era, into the Cold War. Give you some quick tips on how to do that as quick as possible. Something you're going to want is the commando garrison right off the bat. Since we can kind of be friendly, you can build actually 2 embassies and invite both of the powers and then make them both happy and they'll give you plenty of money. Commando garrison. So you want this away from your population. As you can see, it's decreasing the liberty, and everything in that orange area is going to be below 50, which will start spawning a bunch of rebels, which isn't good. We're going to let everyone just construct all this stuff. Don't really want to go through quick building. We don't need it that quick. So there's over 1,800. We got 1,000 here, 1,000 there. So what you can do is just go through second shift these, both of them. We don't really have the population for it quite yet, which is kind of a disaster, but it's also kind of whatever. Like I was saying, now we have some better housing for the poor population. Now specifically, I think there is the plant on the back side. So like this should be the correct way. We're kind of low on funds. I didn't do like a terribly great job of min-maxing everything or doing it all like perfectly on time. We can turn this off of this mode. As you can see, the efficiency and service quality 46. If we turn this off of it, we get up to 56. Then we can go through, buy our first clinic. Plop this down somewhere. Don't really want it there. As a matter of fact, I'm going to cancel this as well. And just build a flop house out here. Like I said, the plants are in the back, I believe. That looks good. And then I can build the clinic here. Looking good. How I like describing this game is that it's like an ant farm with ideologies. It's pretty funny to think about. You have all these people walking all the way up here, then walking all the way down here. If we want to build just one bus garage for now, where at, not terribly important. Kind of want to spread out these shorter buildings though. Plop that there, and we can build just one more flop house. So I didn't do any trading in the first era. Here I'll show you some tips and tricks about trading. If you sort by import-export, all the exports are going to be towards the big countries, like almost 100% of the time. And all the imports are going to be kind of mixed. What you can do is you can find imports from the big countries. Anything less than 1,000 means it'll be completed in one single cycle, like once one boat shows up. So we can accept that one. Nothing from the allies, kind of whatever. Maybe we can get lucky. Yeah, that's actually pretty decent there. And so I'm going to try to keep 2 active trade routes, one for one country, one for the other. I want to get a church down, but I don't want to be spending like a whole lot of money right off the bat. And I'm just going to build an embassy kind of out of the way for now. And I'm just going to let my money heal. Try not to spend a whole lot until I make like another 200, or get it back up to around 100,000. Vacant jobs. We're completely out of our plantations, which means we're going to have to build some other cheap jobs. I was thinking chopping down a bunch of these forests. Then maybe putting our first industry building, which can be a lumber mill, somewhere in the middle of all of that. So we can quickly start pushing out the planks. We're actually also making a bunch of sugar, so I could just plop down a sugar or a rum distillery anywhere, and things will look good there. 10k, 1300 towards our sugar deal. Also instantly get that done. Oh, we just got the new offers. We can import logs, but see how this is 2,075. That's going to take 3 whole loads. Not great. Sugar from the axes, weapons from the axes. Weapons are a good deal because if you can... I'll show you about stacking up the modifiers to get you really good percentages later on. But for now, we'll just sign the sugar deal. As you can see, we don't want any shacks on our island ever. Like ever. And so you always want housing. We have poor housing here for our poorer population. But you never want shacks, ever. It's never a good thing to see them springing up. I'm gonna go ahead and put these on. Screw it, I'll quick build them. And I'll actually push this up to max out. The housing, I'll leave it here because we're gonna start building up some actual apartment complexes soon. Still got good vacant jobs. No homeless or no unemployed people. Check our wealth. Our wealth should only be... Ooh, we have a number of poor people. Oh yeah, okay. That makes sense. Because the people working in bus garages and stuff. Quickly getting into why we built the embassies, why we built the commando garrison, especially so early into this era. You can only invite one if you feel like it, but I like inviting both of the superpowers, the Axis and the Allies. And then just kind of making them both happy, and they'll give us a bunch of free money and stuff. Well, not free, it cost relations. Build 1 and 1, and then you can just pick a side once you've invited at least one of them. And then they're going to require you to sabotage the other side. I'm going to push this up to the max. So here we'll invite the allies. The relation's 69. If we praise them, oof, we can almost request an alliance. See if there's anything we can do. Are we going to push out at least 1,000 sugar? Yes, oh, close. Maybe someone's bringing sugar. That would be pretty cool. Now I have to bring in everything but sugar. What about you, guy? Nope. Sugar, come on, make it before they sell. He's not gonna make it. Unlucky. What I can do to quickly get some relations is, I don't want to do that one. Yeah, we'll say we're gonna sell them something else. 5,000 pineapples is a bit much. Looks like it's our only way out of this. So just accepting trade deals will bring up relations. So now we can request an alliance. He's gonna want us to sabotage the Axis 4 times. I kind of want this to get completely filled out. Once this is full, then I'm going to start sabotaging the axes. You only need to do it 4 times, and then they'll ask you for one final set of goals. The worst one, the most unlucky, is you have to wait 4 years, which is kind of annoying. But if you're lucky, then he'll ask you to fulfill like 4 trade routes, and you can just spam through them with like less than 1,000 import deals. Vacant jobs are still doing pretty good. Homeless families getting kind of high. So as a matter of fact, let's build our first. Urban development's still on. Let's build our first apartment complex here. Like a lot of the residential buildings, plants in the back. And these are going to stand for a while, so I'm going to kind of try and make them look as good as possible. I like the way that one looks. And what's really neat is that these are going to tile these city blocks perfectly. This is probably going to be here for a real long time, so I'm going to go ahead and we'll build something a little more neat looking. You can do that with 2 fountains on the sides. That looks pretty neat. This is probably going to be here for a real long time, probably forever. So we'll go ahead and do that with this. Here we can invite the axes, we can praise them, ask for financial aid, and then on top of that we can... So it says somewhere, once you request an alliance, that if the relation drops below 81, then something bad will happen, but you don't ever have to do that. The allied superpower will trigger an ultimatum to keep the alliance once the relationship drops below 81, but right here we'll ask for financial aid, and as you can see, no ultimatum, so don't really need to worry about that. And so just asking those 2 for, that's like 40k, that pushed us up to 66, which is neat. Some easy money, as long as you can maintain the relations, which is easy to do as long as you're trading with them. Something you want to watch out for is you want to make sure that, yeah, the axis is at 80. You don't want them going like too far below 50, because once that starts happening, then they'll start getting really angry with you. So if you're always, like, whenever I was younger, I was always running out of money. And to really stay on top of that is before you make any building decisions that are going to just start draining money, like this commando garrison with 6 people in it with the highest budget setting, this is actually draining a lot of money. And if you didn't have like your buildings set up like squared away, then this would actually just be a huge hole in your pocket. It probably already is. Let's see. Yeah, like in its lifetime, it's only been here like a month or 2, and it's already spent like almost $1,000. And so you definitely want to prioritize making money. And 2 of the major ways to do that is to always be building production, always have production at the forefront of your priorities. And then another thing is to house your entire population. It's going to make them happy, and you're always going to be collecting rent. So as you can see, as long as a building is full, and unless you put the budget like right here, yeah, even on max budget, these country houses are. We're spending 20, but we're collecting a monthly rent of 28. So every month we're getting $8 from a fully housed country house. But here we're making 20 off of each of these country houses, which is pretty good. And over the course of their lifetimes, each of these is giving us like 1,000. It's pretty good. And this is going to be even better. We're collecting like 60 off of this, which is pretty good. So we're going to build a lot of apartments, and we'll be collecting a lot of rent. So yeah, before you make any major financial burdens, you want to prioritize getting money through production and then through getting a lot of housing down. So as we can see, our commando garrison is fully staffed. So we're going to start with the sabotage the axes. So I clicked 4 times. Something important is that this actually, I don't believe, will make them any less happy with you. So that's good for us. Even if it did, once you sabotage them, they won't be able to retaliate. They won't be able to invade your island. So if you're playing more like a pacifist way and you don't have a large military, that's something important that you want to do. Yeah, wow, look at that. We're making lots of import money from all of our production here. But now, as you can see, cool, we popped the sugar. We have, nothing has like 1,000 here. So that 26,000, that was probably like a one-time thing. It's probably more like 10,000 every time, maybe even less. Population still doing pretty well. And now, unlock the right to bear arms. Let's check our overlays. Let's check the liberty. As you can see, it's like pretty yellow everywhere. And near this place, it's actually getting orange. So if people were around here a lot, like if I built this in the middle of the town, everyone nearby will start like becoming rebels. So to counter this, we can enact the right to bear arms. So now let's check the whole island. Should be pretty green. Yep, everything's at least like 65, and then even near this place, even right at the center of the building. Doing pretty good. So no chance of rebels, which means we don't need a military, making all the superpowers happy, and so we should relatively be safe for like the foreseeable future. So another way to stay out of the red zone is to make sure your support is high. Having high support, two-part thing. You want your population to be happy, all of these to be up. So healthcare is low. So what does that mean? Can push this up. We can get anesthetization, and we're getting a service quality of 85. Anyone can visit this building as long as they have a job, and yeah, that's given pretty good service quality. Could probably end up building another one, which I'll probably do shortly, but this is one of those buildings that's gonna burn a hole in your pocket almost no matter what. Maybe if you get like a lot of people visiting it, it might. It's been a couple months since I played this game, but it'll probably go into the positive, but I'm not sure about that. Dual demands, kind of whatever. We're gonna do the build a new chapel. She wants us to build a chapel. I mean, we might as well, right? Ooh, we can fit one here. As a matter of fact, I'm just gonna demolish this one. Gonna demolish these parks here. I could have left that one. We're gonna build our first church here. And then right beside it, we can build a clinic. Two clinics up and running. Little zone, probably not going to be used, maybe ever, or at least for a long time. Build a little park there. I feel like I'm starting to make a lot of like financially burdensome decisions here. So let's focus our attention on a bit of production for a while. Yeah, 5,000, that makes more sense. 25,000 every time. I wonder. This is still open. I don't know if I want to build that though. You know what? Screw it. We'll make like a dual set of mines on all of these little nodes here. Connect them all up with a main road. Cool. So once these are done, then we'll have plenty of room for new workers, and we'll also be producing like a bunch of different metals. Should be good for us. And coal. We'll do this right here. And we'll do this one right there. So now instead of walking, all these people will just take the bus. Looks like we're also running out of housing. What I can do is actually, so right here we have enough housing in this little 2x3 for 4 families, that's it. But if I demolish all of this, I can then build housing for 10 houses. That looks good. And we'll push all these to 120, or up to 112, which means that off of each fully housed, even this one's still missing a couple people here, we're making like around $50 every month off of a fully housed apartment complex. So once we have like a bunch of them set up, we're making plenty of money off the rents. And I'm gonna go ahead and build another bus garage. What I can actually start doing is just demolishing all of this housing. I'll just slowly demolish the entirety of all of these little neighborhoods and replace them with different buildings. Quick build this one. And starting position here. Ending position all the way up to our newfound mining area. Plenty of vacant jobs. Push this up to the max. Shared seats, why not? Still getting 60 service quality, but now there's a lot more people that can fit in there. Push this all the way up to the top. Anesthetization. Cool, island is looking pretty good. I could honestly maybe demolish this, but we might get a demand that requires it, so I'll just leave it for a while longer. All the poor people, the only thing they can do for entertainment is to go to the tavern over here. Looks like we're kind of running out of poor people housing, so I'll just build that there. Might as well quick build it. These people are poor. Yep. Oh, bam. Right away they fill in that area. Max that out. We just got some new trade deals. Let's see what we can get away with here. Still exporting pineapples kind of sucks. We'll buy another trade license. Why not? Like a new Axes one. No imports. Might as well make our friends really happy. 1,700. 2 whole trips. See if we can get any exports that are in line with what we're doing. Nothing super great. Might as well just take the planks. So every time you take a trade deal with one side, it'll actually take off the other side. So let's check. Yeah, 71. Not the worst. How many times? We haven't even completed one raid, but once these all get done, we'll be on our way to the next era, which will be cool. Every time we run out of housing, I want to start building another apartment complex. So it's orange and yellow on the side. I'm gonna do this like super yellowish one. Okay. The mines actually have a max budget of 10, so everyone working in these, as long as we're on max budget, will be well off. And then they can just take the bus to and fro downtown to their new workplace. Might as well do profit protocol. Yeah, we're gonna have a lot of vacant jobs, which isn't ideal, so these new ones, I'm just gonna pause them. Go ahead and pause this one and pause that one. The coal plantation's the only one that I really want working right off the bat. Yeah, it feels like we're kind of running low on money. We really need to get more production before anything else. Boom, first sabotage done. Now all we gotta do is get the other 3 done and we'll be on our way to the next era. So because we just made this new complex full of a bunch of mines, we're probably gonna start running into more issues with our teamsters. Seems like we're doing alright right now. We're probably going to need to build at least one more soon. So now we're just kind of letting things cruise along. We're not getting a whole lot of immigrants, so just kind of letting things chill and the ant farm grow a bit. I'm going to unpause one iron mine just in case we get like a chunk of immigrants that's more than like 15 or whatever it was at. Let's check our wealth. Yeah, pretty huge chunk of well-off citizens. One of the more major tips that I have for this game, as well as like any strategy game in general, is you want to take things slow. A lot of people hit like ×2, ×4, but really you want to hit Alt X. Yeah, Alt X, okay. You want to take this game as slow as possible, and something that I've noticed is pretty neat. You can just kind of like zoom in on your little city here and watch what they're doing, and it'll point out a lot of like the flaws, if you have any flaws on the way you set your island up. Like sometimes you'll notice there's a huge train of people just walking somewhere, just like little things like that. Real quick, let's see how many people we got. 8. Do have vacant jobs. Looks like we're running out of homes again though. So what we're gonna do, go through, demolish another little part of this block, and just build another apartment complex. I don't want like a bunch of the same buildings in a row, so I'm gonna do my best to mix things up. Boom, sabotage number 2 complete. Once we hit sabotage number 4 complete, then we'll get the final set of goals. Once we make it to the Cold War era, there's a number of ways to advance to the final modern era. One is to make a nuclear bomb, which can be done pretty quickly. I believe you need like a lot of electricity. And having a nuclear bomb will actually stop any superpowers from invading. I'm not sure if that's true. I've definitely had them send forces, but I don't know if they've ever sent the Doom force that you can't survive. But yeah, having a nuclear bomb can be helpful if you have like a military island. Yeah, there is like one other goal. Well, there's 2 other goals, and the one I'm gonna focus on is creating like a paradise where a bunch of tourists show up. We're gonna make a touristy island. It'll be full of people coming from all over. I'm going to build a bridge across here soon. I'm gonna go ahead and just build out the roads the rest of the way. Bam. Alrighty, so that should serve us well. Yeah, things are looking pretty good. We have a mine on fire. Kinda whatever. Just let it burn down and rebuild it up. Should probably build a fire station soon, but I mean, unless you have the fire spreading, there's like a setting for that somewhere, but unless fires are spreading, that's not really that big of a deal. Pineapples are done trading. Let's see what we got in terms of easy imports. Weapons, cool. I'll take that. Let's see, they'll take rubber from us. They'll take cotton and corn, cocoa, cheese. I'm gonna go with the cocoa because I think we're producing that pretty steadily, and then I think I'll do the rubber because that one looks easy as well. Oh man, I unlocked the newspaper a long time ago and I never showcased why you should lock that right off the bat. Yeah, this is actually terrible. In terms of the politics, we have more capitalists, but that's just by luck. And then we want to slowly push everyone away from militarist and towards the religious faction. And so like I was saying earlier, I like to have every population center influenced by 2 newspapers. So here we're going to push everyone towards the capitalist faction with deals and profit. And let's try and find a snug little position for another newspaper. Maybe here. I don't want them to be like too close to each other. Demolish, demolish, demolish. And build another newspaper here. I'll just quick build this one. It's kind of whatever right now. Put on maxed out thing. And we're gonna go with the word. And so now, as you can see, it's influencing every single part of our population. Everyone lives within this zone of influence. There might be some shacks out here. Not really looking good. So these two newspapers are influencing everyone on the island. And so if we put one on the capitalist faction and one on the religious faction, then that means that every single person will slowly be pushed away from communism and militarist towards capitalist and religious, which is good for us. I should have done that like 5 years ago. This plane showing up might be another sabotage going off, which means that we're only one away. Yep. Another sabotage complete, which means that they are on the last one. So they're gathering up, they'll depart, execute the mission, and return. Hopefully that all happens pretty quickly. And then we'll be right on into the next era, which should be cool, because then all we gotta do is just make a bunch of buildings for a bunch of people to show up. A bunch of tourists. What I'm kind of thinking is that we'll make all of the, this will be like Old Town is what I'm kind of thinking. I'll make all these entertainment buildings for our Tropicans, and then we'll make all the entertainment buildings on this and here for the tourist. Yeah, so we have 1,000 there in the cotton. If I find like 2 more like that. So not quite yet. And then everyone should come here to get home. Trade deal complete. Steady making money, which means that we're not hemorrhaging money quite yet. Already, I just built this and we're already getting like 20 people influenced. This has given us plenty of influence as well. So over time, people are slowly going to be pushed to the left side of these two. And then what I can do is, once we make it to the next era, I'll build a radio station probably around here. And before that happens, we're going to need electricity. Before I do that, I'm going to make, let's see our population, vacant jobs. Go ahead and hit play on the mine here. Go ahead and hit play on this mine here. This mine's finally destroyed, which means we can rebuild it. I'll just quick build this one. Profit protocol and everything. On top of that, we maxed out the budget, which means all those people working there are going to be well off, and we're going to be getting a lot of ores out of this whole area, which will be nice. And finally, just to keep up the monies, I'm going to build a number of logging camps out here. That should be plenty without going like too overboard with it. And then just connect them on up. So now that's going to produce a bunch of logs, but we're also going to need that turned into planks. We don't need it, but better to have it. Yeah, it looks fine. So things are coming along swimmingly. That should be plenty of work for our construction crews. You can see them all rolling out right there to go build up various things. There's going to be a lot of jobs as well. We're sitting on 16 vacant jobs. I'm running out of housing. Start building up some more housing here. I think this is a bit tight. We can leave some room for some other buildings, but I'm going to start spreading these out. I don't want them all too close. And then to sort of link everything together, I think I'll put a bus stop here and connect it to like here. And then I can build like bus stops leading maybe to like the other island, and then maybe one leading further over here. Just some forethought, always good to be doing. Kind of spending more money than I have right now. Not terrible, but not great. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to plop it into this and just watch the island for a bit. Watch things grow, watch the people move about. Right in front of your bus stops is always a good spot to spot a lot of people moving. You can see there's a lot of people using these buses now. Boom. So that's good. We're allies with the Alliance. Fulfill trade routes with the allies. This is humongous, which means we can almost, I'm gonna go ahead and just cancel that, cancel that. Let's hope they're not too angry with us. We'll praise them. Keep them off our backs for a little bit longer. Now this is huge because, how much is this cocoa? 1,000. Is the boat just now showing up? Oh no, they just left. Anyways, that's not too bad. This means that'll be done once a boat shows up, right? You really want to look closely at it. What does it say here? Fulfill trade routes. It doesn't say import or export, which means any trade route would do. So we can do that one. This is another one that'll pop instantly. Rubber. Oh. Okay, so we got 3 out of the way right there. keep an eye on this. Keep an eye on what we're sending out. Right off the bat, as soon as the next boat shows up, which is like right over there, then we'll instantly pop 3 out of these 4, which would be really, really good for us. Really cool to see. Oh man, we got a lot of homeless families. Not great. Not great at all. Plop down another apartment here. That looks good. We'll just quick build this one. Push this to that. 180. We're spending 112 every month. This means we're making, what is that, like $68 a month? So more than 50 off of each of these as long as they're fully lived in, which is pretty good. Really good for us, actually. We could probably even do with another one. I'm trying to think where I want it, though. So what are we selling a lot of? In terms of trades, 4 months, I want something that'll pop like instantly. Coconut, corn. Got more than 2,000 corn. Don't have more than 2,000 of anything right now, but maybe there's something that doesn't require too much. Iron, meat, planks, sugar. Don't have any hides, corn, coconut, nothing great. Okay, all these are about to pop, so we might as well pick up something just in case. What do we have like the most of out here? Tobacco. We have 2 sugar plantations, so we should make a lot of sugar pretty quickly. I'll just buy that for now. Is there a lot up here? 700. Oh man, we got a lot of vacant jobs. Not great, not great. That's just money pouring out of our pockets. Put all these on the maxed out one, but we're gonna pause all of these. That's not good to see. What about this? Okay, that's better. So we just paused up all the logging camps and then the lumber mill. That's okay, we don't need it running quite yet. It was taking more money than it was giving us. So right here, bam, we get 3 done with that. Really good for us. Trade, 1 month it'll change. But yeah, we're like not making any money right now. I'm gonna have to, oh wait, what I can do is ask for financial aid. Cool. These guys are really upset with me. It's because I canceled a bunch of trade deals and then accepted some trade deals with the opposing faction. Cool, so we'll be done with that. What we can do is, we can game it up a bit here. We'll cancel the sugar export, and then what I can do is say that I'll take in a bunch of weapons, right? That gets us up to 51. What do we need for the financial aid? 71. So if I can get 20 more, which I think is just feasible. So we'll say that we're gonna give them 97,000, but we're definitely not going to. Bam, cool, free money. So I said I was gonna do all these, but we're gonna make it to the next era and then we won't have to worry about them. This one should pop as soon as they show up, the next boat shows up, and we'll be on to the next era. Pretty good. Within 10 years, we're on to the Cold War, and then we'll be building up some skyscrapers, I believe. I'm not sure which skyscrapers we're going to be able to build. This is modern times. I believe the office is modern times as well. And in terms of tourists, this one is modern times as well. We're going to need a lot of electricity for this, and we haven't built 1 electrical plant yet. We'll unpause 2 logging camps. What I could do is move this bus stop over, build another bus stop like right here, giving people more options on how to get to work, while also giving these guys an option as well. Yeah, I'll just build a bus stop right on down here. Oh no. I don't like vehicles coming out onto the road right where an intersection is, even like right next to it. Just not a good practice. It'll create traffic jams once you start building up a lot of car infrastructure. Like I was saying, I don't want a lot of buildings too close to each other. Screw it, we'll just do it for this one. Probably won't be a lot of cars on a little back road anyways. We'll build this one here. Place the ending bus stop here. Come on down to, which one is it? This one, move it over to this side here. Cool. Things are looking a little more squeaky clean. This ship's about to show up, which is gonna push us on to the next era. And then I'll show you the little nifty sugar fertile, or fiber fertilization thing. There's not a whole lot of buildings that I can really think of. Now we're gonna unlock that are too great. We can start putting down some of the basic hotels though, which would be nice. To make them like really nice, we're gonna need a lot of electricity. Maybe right now is the time to build it. Yeah, it's gonna be really expensive, but plopping it down now kind of get us a head start on the next set of goals. This is right next to a bus stop, so people will be able to quickly go to and fro. So pretty soon, hopefully we're gonna start having a lot of rich citizens. We already have a couple. Something major that rich people can do is they can drive cars. Muddling through progressed Cold War, sick. And we should unlock more. We never got around to this. Doing theocracy decreases global liberty by 10, whatever. Overall tourism by 5, increases religious faction standing by 10. So I'm gonna want this because we're going religious. And then what else? Maybe earlier retirement, that'd be good for us. Industrialist standing decreased by 10. Zero emissions, yeah, because we're going with the environmentalists anyways. True separation cannot issue citizen actions except for bribe. Increases global liberty by 5, cool. Oh, but now we can build this road across and we'll get a better looking bridge. Cost $2,000, but look at that. Pretty nifty, if you ask me. I wonder... Could build another dock here. I just feel like it would be pretty neat to see like a bunch of shipping crates and stuff leading into Old Town, and then more like touristy boats showing up over here. Don't really want anything in the middle because once they drive under the bridges it just looks kind of clunky. Soon we should unlock the goal for making it to the modern era, and I'll go over those real quick. So you gotta do either the tourist one, steal a world wonder, or build a nuclear bomb. World wonder, I never really do that one, because if I want to do it quick then I just do the tourist one, and if I want to do like more of military style then I do the nuclear bomb. So something really important is if you make a building for tourist only, I don't want to do it with this, we'll quickly do it with this real quick, but you can see the fee income's 10, right? Look at it now, 60. So it increases the fee income by like a huge margin. So that's pretty important. Like I was saying, I want to make all of these buildings out here for like my people, and like all the locals will come back home over here. But then once we make all the buildings out here for tourists, then we'll be making a bunch of money off of that. So over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alrighty, there's the beginning of our new area over here. In terms of tourist attractions, a super easy one is to just build the ancient ruins. Super cheap, provides like really good numbers, lots of money. Build our first hotel here. We'll slowly fill in this little area here. I wonder how big. I think the tenement is a 4x2. Oh man, we're kind of running low on money here. Probably just gonna have to let everything chill out for a while. As a matter of fact, I'm just gonna cancel these because we don't even have a port coming into town yet. Looks like we're kind of hemorrhaging money. Eastern Bloc, Western powers, go into the trade, start milking some imports, anything that can kind of get us there quicker. Yeah, like they want uranium, these guys want oil, we'll do both of them. Not really focused on our profits right now. We're trying to make it to the modern era, and I'll show you one of my favorite edicts in this whole game, which is the Caribbean Trade Pact Association. Really cool edict. In terms of like world building, like thinking of the Caribbean at large, we have a really high support. We haven't even been through the first voting season, which I believe is every either 10 or 20 years, but unemployed, we have a lot of unemployed people now. Maybe what we can do is unpause all of these, and that should hopefully bring us up to speed. What does that give us? Need some more jobs. The sad thing is we don't really have like a whole lot of money for it. Oh, we can ask for financial aid here. Sweet. Both of them. Okay, that is just what we needed. Now we have enough for setting up our little tourism empire. We'll start here. Why not here? Ancient ruins here. Just quick build all this so I can get a sense of what we're doing. Probably shouldn't have quick built that last one. Okay, they get a wage of at least 10. They get a wage of... Okay, so all these people... Okay, all these people should be able to make a livable wage, which means that we can build apartment complexes here. Oh man, I shouldn't have done that. Full set of workers coming through. 800. Yeah, things are looking pretty good throughout here. But I just did all of these logging camps, so we're probably going to need at least one more. Just go ahead and plop that one down. I want to leave room sort of for more like industrial or more skyscrapers, because like this isn't going to be a skyscraper ever, but I'm going to leave it here probably forever. Same thing with this, so there's two spaces right next to each other where there won't be skyscrapers. So I just want to see how it looks if just got like stacks and stacks of concrete. We're making good money. That's good. And our first set of tourists might be showing up soon. Something minor is if you look at our new power plant, or if we look under this, we can see electricity, not influencing the whole island. So we're going to need to build one substation at least. Try and pick out a good spot for it. As a matter of fact, why not right here? Oh man, I keep quick building when I don't need to. Cool. So let's see how that looks. Whole entire island's covered now, even some of over here. So electrifying buildings only requires like an upfront cost, and then the only maintenance is just the electricity. So that's pretty good for us. Like if we hold control, we can see everything only costs 5 grand and then 126 megawatts. And we're producing 350. Oh yeah, and we made it to the next era. Make Tropico great again. Establish a tropical paradise for tourists. So we already have 10. Oh no, we have 0. Unfortunate. Cool, this is actually working out like really good for us. I'm gonna eventually get rid of this. The only poor people that we'll have around are like people working in the grocery and on the buses. Nothing a couple of flop houses can't handle. But yeah, let's go ahead and just upgrade this all to electrified. Oh, there's gonna be one over here that doesn't have electricity. Oh wait, do they? Wow, look at that. Yeah, it just makes it. That's funny. But now that we're into the next era, you can see we're slowly trying to push people to religious and capitalist. There's a lot that I'm kind of like oversighting here, but I've kind of covered a lot of the topics that I wanted to get across. One thing is labor policy and religion and state. We can just get both those done right now. Oh, and the radio station. So that's pretty good for me. I'm happy with it. Gonna have to wait until we unlock this. We'll go theocracy and early retirement. By going to the max budget and electrifying these apartment complexes, we're actually getting housing happiness in 98, which is pretty huge. But we're drawing 160 and we're spending 180, which kind of blows. Or no, we're bringing in 180 and spending 160. So I'm just gonna keep them all here. We're not really like super duper rich to the point where we can do that. Hopefully that'll come soon though. Poor people, are you broke? Are you poor? Bus garage, just need some more housing for them. About you guys, is everyone making good money? What I can do is I can squeeze in a number of flop houses all along this area here. Just quick build them up, why not? Put these on the max budget. Ooh, you know what? We're gonna go on the next to max budget because with this we're actually losing money on all of them. But then we can electrify them. And we're still getting some pretty good housing quality out of them, even though they're poor. Still making decent money. Nothing super great. Once we start getting this tourist island set up though, we'll start making really good money. Hotel Camarote. Hey, that's pretty good for us. So as you can see, the fee income is 135. But if we go with theme park exploit, push it up to 148. Huge. Gives us a new person to work here and increases service quality, I believe, as well. The base fee, the service quality is increased by 5. Cool. So that's like perfect for us. And already in its lifetime, it's brought in $500. Like 10 people have showed up and given us over 1,000 from it. By contrast, even though our theater's been here its entire life, oh, it's actually made some pretty good money. Now is probably actually a perfect time to make a new radio station. Let's see what it influences. It influences all of these people. Kind of unfortunate it's not reaching like every single person. But once we kind of build out, like flesh out this with more buildings, then it'll influence more people. Nothing to worry about. But I did the research for the radio station, and just like the radio station, it can influence people with different propaganda choices. So what I'm going to do is put this on environmentalist, right? I haven't been checking this too much. Plenty of housing, like right at the limit of jobs. But this just means that we need more tourist jobs. So I think this is going to be the end of episode 2. I made a lot of progress that I'm happy with. We made it pretty much through the World War era and the Cold War era. I think this third video is going to be the last video in this series. We're going to move into the modern era and we're going to start constructing lots of skyscrapers, getting lots of rich people, and just seeing the archipelago explode. As I was editing this video, I realized that I kind of go off on tangents a lot, and so I think I'm going to start trying to focus more on what I'm saying. But anyways, if you like this video, leave a like. And if you want to see more content like this, go ahead and subscribe. I play a lot of strategy games and I really like stacking modifiers. That just like really is an itch for me that I always want to scratch when I'm playing games. So I'm going to be doing a lot of playthroughs on strategy games that I enjoy. I might start playing some League of Legends and uploading videos on that. I'm a support main. I like city builders and I like war games, so I might upload some Total War Rome 2. That's just a classic. Some Crusader Kings, maybe some Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.